I've never actually had egusi soup to stews, despite how iconic they are in West African cuisine and just how much I love food from that region. A wonderful outcome of this culinary ignorance is I don't associate the word egusi with soup or stew, but associate it with the ingredient itself. You may be unaware that these dishes are named for the use of the seeds of the cucurbit family that are in their preparation. Cucurbits, or the gourd family, include more than 800 different species, notably watermelon, pumpkin, butternut, gem squash, and other melons. If you've ever eaten any of these plants, you may be aware of their seed appearance and maybe even had them as toasted, lightly salted snacks. While egusi is a blanket term, its more commonly accepted use is in reference to the bittermelon seeds. So for the context of this recipe, we shall be sticking to that more commonly used definition. Okay, so let's get into it. Grease a 22 centimeter baking tin, or optionally line it with greased baking paper and set it aside. Stir together 200 grams brown sugar with 180 grams melted butter in a large bowl with a wooden spoon. We want a chewy, dense cake here, so don't fuss around creaming the butter and sugar together. Crack in 2 large eggs and half a teaspoon of chai masala and mix well with a wooden spoon. Sift in 205 grams of cake flour and half a teaspoon of salt and mix until just incorporated. Spread your batter into the prepared cake tin . Allow the top to level out before sprinkling 2 tablespoons of brown sugar evenly across the top of the batter, followed by 1/3 cup of your egusi seeds. You want to make sure you inspect your egusi well before sprinkling on top of your cake batter, checking for any tough shells that are still stuck to the seeds or any seeds that are discolored and likely to be bitter in flavor. Bake for 40 to 45 minutes until the top is lightly golden brown and the seeds are toasted and golden as well. A toothpick in the center should come out totally clean. Cool for about 10 minutes on a rack before you release the cake from the pan. And slice up and serve warm or at room temperature with a companion cup of tea. The egusi tastes nutty, somewhat like toasted almonds with a sneaky hint of sunflower seeds behind them. You can obviously mix in other kinds of egusi into this recipe, including pumpkin seeds or squash seeds, and even almonds themselves. The cake base itself has a great chewy and fudge-like texture and a slight spiciness from the masala. You could also incorporate ground egusi flour into the batter if you want egusi flavor throughout the cake. I personally prefer the contrast between the top and the bottom of the cake. Easy, fail-proof cooking with the continental flavor taking center stage. Pamsoroi.